let's not eat breakfast here.
Are you serious? Or was it just a joke?
Well, Zyn will not really touch his breakfast after considering that it might not be the best idea to eat food that someone who doesn't like us might have prepared. Or most definitely has prepared.
Well, the sergeant will happily engage in more pleasant but somewhat vacuous conversation as he tries to be as forthcoming as he can and obviously trying to make as good an impression as he can.
Why would you want to make a good impression on Tristan? She's just a younger sister. Because their older sister is hard.
Yeah, she's rough, that one. But yeah, he will take a spoonful of the mushroom soup and chew and swallow and seem to continue conversation. Nothing bad seems to happen to him right then and there, at least.
Tristan's gonna ask, is it any good this time? Not so the gnome can hear it.
I think you asked you, Sheep.
No.
No.
She asked the sergeant if the soup is good.
If the food, was okay this time,
yes.
better.
Yes, it tastes like it did yesterday, and as it would taste tomorrow, I am guessing. Well, they don't have a refined palate, really.
Well, I was thinking of
Not
a lot
like
of mushroom or...
And then he trails off.
What?
Really quickly to shut up and eat his soup.
Oh. What's just in size? Well, I guess it'll be mushrooms. She will eat the soup. And mushroom bread.
I think you should get used to mushrooms down here, sister. But then we'll still not touch the soup. Because she's now even more paranoid than before.
Tristan looks at him. Well, I wouldn't really mind the mushroom as much when I know that, they're dead but the mushroom we're eating.
You can make a perception check.
Hooray! Something I've trained.
Everyone or just him?
Well, Zyn in particular, I think that's enough. You did notice that the sergeant quite suddenly stopped talking and started eating.
Can I guess why?
Well, he stopped mid-sentence.
And then we'll turn to Sergeant. What was it you wanted to say?
He swallows his soup and blinks. Oh, nothing, my lord. I was listening to Tristan.
Well, you stopped mid-sentence, if you haven't noticed.
He looks rather... Well, it would be rude of me to interrupt her when she's speaking.
Well, it would be rude to not continue speaking if I'm asking you to.
He shrugs and says, I suppose so. What was I gonna say? Seems to think.
Are we all gonna do a sense motive again?
Well, you can if you wish.
Sure, I have to get a 20 at some point, right?
Really? 9?
Sensing all the motives here.
5.
Well, you get the feeling that he does not honestly remember what he was going to say, and he seems perplexed and puzzled. I mean...
Well, Tristan looks at him. Are you all right?
He smiles. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking.
Perhaps the innkeeper does not like us much, I would assume. Perhaps There's more than mushrooms in your soup, as I suspect.
He looks down at the soup. Frowns. That would be possible, I suppose, but wouldn't she be found out immediately if something befell us after eating the soup?
Well, you did say you've eaten here for a while.
Well, I ate her yesterday, yes.
Might be something that needs multiple doses, maybe something that acts slowly.
Seems
Well,
to
then
consider...
again, perhaps I'm just being paranoid. Feel free to enjoy your breakfast.
Looks down at it now, sort of disappointed.
Interesting.
Seemingly thinking that it's kind of hard to enjoy it now after that. But
Trislan's been disappointed from the moment she was given the food.
just generally disappointed.
Could I put like some of the soup and the bread in a jar or something?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll do that.
All right, you take a piece of bread and in a pouch and a little bit of soup in a jar or something, a clay jar.
Well, Trislan will frown at the soup and give it to Zakari again and eat candy.
Well, Zakari, slobbers and all over the place and will quite loudly eat the soup.
Do you look at Zyn and Talin? You want a piece of candy?
No, I
no.
already have. That's the pocket.
Well, it's much better than the food.
No, thank you. He looks around. Yes, perhaps I should check in on the patrols. They have to report to me after all.
Okay.
Perhaps. Sergeant, might I suggest that you do not only prepare for the obvious threats. We have won the battle, but I fear we are not quite as safe as we would like to be.
He nods. I would tend to agree. We still don't know how the Baroness will move against us when she finds out.
I've not been feeling safe since I was born, Zyn.
Well, safe is very relative.
The sergeant looks around. We'll see. I will keep the control of the city as best I can, my lord.
I'm sure you will.
And I will, of course, leave the matters of ruling in your capable hands. He stands up and salutes.
Tristan salutes back.
And he stalks away.
She looks at Zyn. I'm so bad with this.
Well, I'm sure you did fine.
I doubt it. It felt awkward.
Zyn shrugs. Maybe you should head back to the others. I don't quite feel safe around here, walking with just the two of us. Maybe I am being too paranoid, though. Then again, it's better to be too cautious than not cautious enough, I guess.
Well, the thing is, nothing interesting is happening, so for all I care, we could go home.
Oh, I would like to disagree. It's very interesting what is happening right now. Probably not the good kind of interesting, but it's certainly not nothing.
She gives you a face that says, "What kind of interesting do you find interesting? This is boring." She's kind of like, what?
Well, perhaps we consider different things to be interesting.
Right.
We should head back.
Okay, fine. Do you think Alauneari's gonna be angry that I told him to call me Trislan?
Well, perhaps. But then again, might be quite the opposite, since by allowing him to call you Trislan, you are somewhat giving up on your authority. He's not a friend, he's our sergeant.
Well,
Unless you want to change that, of course.
No, but when he says my lady, it's, he's kind of when I'm calling Zakari, he responds to Zakari.
Zyn just shrugs. He doesn't want
I
to.
just don't respond to my lady.
He doesn't like where this discussion is going.
Okay, fine, we'll not talk. Let's go home. Or whatever that is.
I don't know where home is.
Well, it's not really home, it's just, a place we are. We're back.
Welcome home, Tristan.
Thank you.
Do we call this our home yet?
Alauneari is still sort of brooding, just nods. Did you encounter anything interesting?
I've
Well-
encountered awkwardness.
Tristan would say no, I suppose. We did meet the sergeant again, and we had a little talk.
We had breakfast.
Did anything come of it?
Well, the only thing that might have come out of it is that I suspect the breakfast we were served at the Blue Bed was poisoned or something, but that's really not a surprise.
Alauneari frowns. I don't think the gnomes here would have poison.
But someone else might.
They might.
Would you have any way to be certain of that? If food
Shake
would be poisoned?
No, there's no way to be certain.
That's a shame.
To be certain of anything. But do not worry, we will prevail, as we always do.
Anyway, no, nothing interesting. But the sergeant walked around the city. He talked about some gnomes that has tried to leave, but they didn't get to leave, and they are now hanging on the wall.
That's good.
And we had mushroom breakfast.
Okay, that's good then. Can continue with your day. I'm sure you have much to see to.
You two look like you've been scheming, haven't you?
And he sort of shrugs and says, we've been talking.
Well, that's basically the same thing, right? I guess you don't want to tell us then? Fair enough.
We have been considering a way in which we could lure the assassin out.
Yeah,
Rather than wait for him
so
to
have
strike.
I, actually.
Oh?
Well, since we can't get the assassin to act by just waiting on the assassin to act, because that would be stupid on the assassin's part, I think we might have to give him a deadline of sorts, maybe. We could invent a sort of secret, perhaps, that is our ultimate goal to deal with the Baroness' possible influence, but it would, of course, need time to implement. And if we occasionally drop the hint here or there that it is very important that said secret is carried out, maybe the assassin might be likely to, well, take risks, perhaps. Since it is quite clear to me, at least, that the assassin was sent by the Baroness. And if we have information that said assassin might want to bring back to the Baroness, maybe he will act.
I think we spoke about perhaps making an opportunity too good for the assassin to pass up to Trislan. Trislan and I would be going south to get a cache or a stash placed there by our mother. And as it is known, she has quite the reputation for such planning. And as such, we, only the women of our family, would have to go alone. We would not really tell anyone, but we would bring a cart. And so it will be known that we would have to pass through the narrow crevice where we also ourselves encountered the sheriff. That would certainly be an opportunity to remove us from this ordeal.
The difference is that we will be with them, just no one will know.
Well, I did in fact consider something like that as well, but I didn't think you would be willing to be the bait, so to say.
Well,
And there's
really,
no one else who can. We are the most important.
and really, they wouldn't be that much of bait with the idea we had. We'd be right next to them, just no one could see us.
We'd be the trap, but we still need a bait.
Yes.
Both bait and a trap.
Yes.
Zyn doesn't want to argue with Rain about traps, because clearly he doesn't have. He has no idea how traps work.
Such plan could be made to work, or at least it could be attempted.
So when are we gonna do this?
We will have to think about it. There might be holes or ways to improve such plan. The assassin will undoubtedly be keeping an eye on what we're doing, and so there should be no need to really rumor it much. Simply beginning to get a cart, will indicate that we're going to travel. And when we pack it up in the middle of the night and leave quickly, that will also do it. If anyone asks why we need a cart, we'll say that it's important and that it is something that only we can do, because it has to do with one of our mother's rituals. That should itself be explanation enough for any would-be assassin.
Zyn seems to approve of this plan.
Tristan, being that just something's gonna happen, is approving.
Do you see any holes in it?
Well, perhaps we shouldn't openly mention that it has something to do with Mother. Because it seems kind of too obvious to just openly admit that. But other than that, I think it might work. But it might also be dangerous. If it's indeed the sergeant who we have to worry about, he might not bring an assassin, he might bring a small army.
If it was the sergeant, he could already have done that.
I think so too, but you can never be too sure.
I have a feeling it's more someone else underneath the sergeant doing it.
Perhaps the sergeant is just a scapegoat or a target so obvious that we have to consider him.
Perhaps. What we know is that the group of people we've been sent out here with is far from accidental.
I didn't know the
Could
sergeant
be
was.
anyone, and everyone could be a potential.
I didn't know the sergeant was one of the suspicious one.
Well, for Zyn,
No.
he is.
Everyone.
No, dear sister, I don't consider the sergeant to be a prime suspect.
Other than each other, we have no one here who's not a suspect, really.
Oh.
He's but a simple soldier.
Well,
Do you know what our dear brother is doing? He seems to be absent. I have not seen him all day.
he left much, much earlier.
I did.
He left?
What?
How did I see that?
Did he?
I
I would have
didn't.
assumed he was spending time with our dear dwarf, but I have not
Well,
heard.
I assume it's him
requested.
leaving. I heard the door at the top close, but I don't know. I assume it was him.
Perhaps it was the assassin?
If it was, they had optimal opportunity to do something.
Was it rain and frowns? So no one saw anything.
Well, we could always ask. I'd point at the guards.
He looks us in. Brother, could you check if he's in his room, and if so, what he's doing?
Of
If he
course.
asks why, simply ask if he is alright.
Then we'll go to his room, which I assume is the one with his slave in it, and we'll knock.
Well, there's probably no answer.
Probably no answer, no.
She's so dull.
Well, then we'll not enter since that would be rude, so he will go back and say, I knocked. I don't think he's home. That's good enough.
You too.
Mary shakes her head and frowns. Yes, he's elusive, as always.
He's probably just out doing his Messiah thing.
Messiah thing.
Well, he's presenting himself as the savior of these people. And he's doing it quite well. Not sure what I think.
Savior.
I'm not sure if that's the correct word to use.
Having them under our control is definitely preferable. She ponders the word Messiah.
Well, Rilinid has
Out
not.
of character, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but it seemed appropriate.
I think it.
She really likes it, actually. Messiah of Agaris. She could work with that.
God, Rilinid's getting a promotion.
Can work with
Oh,
this.
no.
Good.
Not Rilinid.
Oh, God. Self-promotion.
Wonders the word. So, all right then. He most likely will have a snide comment and nothing more to impart upon us. She looks down. Although at times he does have insights that are hard to find elsewhere. Seems to speak loudly more than sort of thinking loudly. Anything else? Well, I suppose we can take another day before anything happens. Acting this quickly after something, after we were being attacked, seems a bit too obvious.
Yeah, you can surely wait a few days if you want.
Yeah, well, allow things to become more normal.
Well, Tristan will
Alright.
take her morning walks every day.
A little bit of distance. Alauneari will at times go walk through the city, and she will also begin the work of making this place look a bit prettier. See and get some gnome who seems to be. She'll try to find a gnome who can suck up to her. Someone who can and bootlicker gnome who can do her errands.
All of them are kind of bootleggers since they're so tiny.
That's not really a problem.
Good, because she wants one that wants to get on the good side of the drow, and she will send him. Yeah, basically, she'll send him to find the tailors and make them, make new banners and to get the right stuff and get this and that and whatever she really needs to make this place feel a little more like home.
Sure.
And that's what she'll occupy herself doing.
Right.
While she waits for, things to be a little normal.
All
Always wary, however.
How many days generally does the group want to spend to sort of normalize?
Thinking a week at least.
I would say half a week. Maybe.
I don't want too many days to
3-4
pass
days.
because, as said stuff is happening.
Yeah, but we just took over this place. I mean, it's not going to be normal for years, but sort of for a routine to work in.
Will Tristan meet the sergeant every morning walk?
Does she want to?
Yeah, she takes a morning walk with Sakari every morning.
All right, then.
That seems like a horrible idea if there's an assassin around.
See,
Let's have a schedule that is completely predictable.
keep in
Well, I
mind that
Doubt she's gonna wake up the same time every time.
that speaking from a overlord broad perspective, that this little village here of a few hundred deep gnomes, less now after what happened, is to serve as our primary base of operations. We cannot leave this place unless we have some assurance that it is going to be stable and welcome us again. If we have any doubts that we're going to lose control over this, such as by an agent of Lady Satha, operating from within to turn this against us and hand the place back to her, we cannot leave, no matter what else is happening in the entire Azathyr, because without this, we might as well just not have attacked in the first place and just disbanded the army.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, they don't know that every one of us is leaving. They are supposed to think that at least the brothers, the male members of the family are staying.
For the plan, we wouldn't leave for more than
a
couple of hours.
As for any sort of contribution I have to the plan, it's nothing more than a snide remark.
And by the way, Manaki, out of character, do you not have detect poison?
Not prepared to take poison, no.
I'm not prepared. That's the thing. Right?
I do.
That's the thing, yes.
So the normal casters.
Well, if you're spontaneous, you just wouldn't have it known.
Like, I can make it tomorrow easily and then cast it 1,000,000 times.
I mean, if you're waiting here a couple of days,
Sure, I'll put
half a week to a week, you can certainly cast it.
Well, Zyn certainly wouldn't go up to you and say, "Hey, can you prepare detect poison for tomorrow?" But since he did bring
if it is necessary, then she will certainly do it.
Well, he did say that he
And
brought
now she can
a
do
sample
it
of the
1,000,000 times.
He did say he brought a sample of the potentially poisoned food that he would like to find out if it's actually poisoned.
The food was not poisoned.
God damn it. I hate you, Jonas.
You are very paranoid.
Just do
Zyn
my
is
job.
paranoid, yes.
That is unnecessary. That is what they want.
Alright, so do you then proceed with the plan? And how specifically do you do it then?
Well, the plan will be told to your brother as well, and hopefully he agrees that it could work.
Like I said, he has nothing more than a snide remark. Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, the plan is basically to send my bootlegger Gnomes, which she, by the way, is sure will tell anyone anything really easily.
Sure.
Because that's what people like that do. So she needs them to acquire a pack lizard, a cart, and a day or two's worth of supplies for 2 people.
Okay.
And she needs it ready, in a 2 days night at the southern exit.
All right, got it.
She'll say that the cart needs to have good room in it, and a way to hide what she's bringing back home. So a large sort of piece of cloth or something she can pull over.
All right, sure.
And yeah, she'll order that and hope that they will produce it. Which is, that's what they do, right?
Yeah,
That's why
no
she
problem.
has them. They get her what she needs.
There's no problem to get that sorted.
And after the 2 days, then Alauneari will take Trislin and of course the Eidolon. Eidolon can walk next to it, I guess, and you'll sit on the cart. Secretly, maybe even during the early hours, place our brothers in the cart under the cloth secretly, and then basically not be all too secret. Basically, being sure that if someone's watching us, they will see as we leave to the cart. And
You're basically trying to be
and fake
to
hiding,
be visible without being obvious.
Yeah.
Right.
Then leaving. We want to look as if we're trying to be discreet.
Okay.
But we really want people to see us. So.
Yeah, certainly.
Then we will drive south towards the place where we fought
Considering how much they suck at stealth, I don't think it's hard for them to be obvious.
They even try to be stealthy, and it's going to be quite obvious. All right, you make your way into the Needle's Eye.
Indeed.
Let's move your tokens then. Oh, everyone is scattered.
I hope you have a cart and lid prepared.
Always.
Well, we'll be disassembling the cart.
And the
As soon as we get there, basically send the brothers in through the the thin crack thing, or make them hide up in the like rough areas, style like whatever they are called.
Mm-hmm.
And then we begin disassembling the cart just as we would if we wanted just to actually go through.